I got the strong impression reading the newspapers that you think I'm here to say that Ryanair is about to buy Air Italy. So let me clear the room by saying we're not. Okay, we have no interest whatsoever in buying Air Italy. It would be pointless. However, we are going to announce additional aircraft into Milan from next winter, and I can share with you our intentions in respect of Sardinia and Milan in particular, depending on aircraft availability over the next number of months.
We are considering opening a second base in Sardinia, Olbia, facilitated by the fact that Air Italy has collapsed.
I think Air Italy is probably irrelevant to our thinking, but should be relevant to the thinking of Olbia Airport. For example, Olbia, I think Air Italy is a quarter of all of Olbia's capacity. I'm not sure, but I think so. And Ryanair is capable and willing to replace that traffic, subject to receiving aircraft and subject to achieving the right cost base for the aircraft and the airport. I should also say that Ryanair's growth in Italy has been completely independent of the behaviour of any of the Italian airlines. In fact, our growth tends to be in places where which have been ignored by Alitalia. It is impossible to predict what will happen with an Italian airline. It's quite impossible. I don't think anybody knows. So we cannot make our plans on that basis. But the important thing is that what is delivered efficiently. One figure that struck me from the public figures about Air Italy was that of their total staff, just over half were involved in delivering the flight. So just over half were either pilots or cabin crew. Just over 50%. Whereas in the case of Ryanair, more than 85% of our people are involved in delivering the service. And so within all of that is a lot of inefficiency, but I'm not going to attempt a post-mortem. I'm not an aviation pathologist. We are more in the business of growth.
Quanti lavoratori di Air Italy eventualmente Ryanair potrà riallocare sulla eventuale nuova base di Olbia o comunque in Sardegna? Secondo, se non teme l'accusa di approfittare della situazione di Air Italy per annunciare proprio adesso nuove rotte sulla Sardegna.
This year we're growing, I think, between 3 and 4% in Italy this summer. And when you consider that intra-European aviation is growing by less than 1% in total, that's very, very significant. So I think it's more Italy taking advantage of us and our philanthropy. Each of our aircraft generates between 30 and 40 jobs for flight crew. This summer I could see an additional 4 aircraft, so there's at least 120 flight crew jobs, more, probably 150.
You are going to re-employ some workers from Air Italy?
Of course. I mean, I think we know some of the pilots in Air Italy. I think they used to fly with Ryanair before, many of them. In which case they will have been very well trained. We have our own pilots, of course, Italian pilots all over Europe with Ryanair who'd like to come home. But most certainly, if we increase the number of aircraft in Milan, if we successfully open a base in Olbia, there will be jobs for ex-Air Italy pilots.